Jackie.
Hi.
How are you today? Sit down.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I'm so glad you came in again today.
Thanks.
I was glad to get to know you a little bit better last week, and I think we left off. We were talking a little bit about your roommates, and you got a little upset. So I just want to ask a couple more questions and just see how you're doing with that.
Yeah. Got a little worse this week. I guess I'll give you like a little background.
Yeah.
Well, this is my first year living with them. I have 3, but I'm only like kind of friendly with 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of knew them before, and now we're like friends, but I've been feeling kind of left out, because they were friends before we moved in together, and I just kind of knew them. So, yeah, I just feel like kind of left out with them, and I'm like the third wheel, and I don't know, like this is our 2nd semester living together, and it just, things haven't really changed. Like last semester I would like talk to them, I would try to like confront them and keep short accounts, but they were like, okay, like they were like nice about it, saying, I would say like, oh, I feel like a third wheel or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then like things would be okay, and then like 2 weeks later I'd feel left out again, and so I just don't really know what to do anymore.
Okay. So that must have been really hard for you to confront them and like tell them all those how you're feeling last semester.
Yeah, definitely vulnerable and trying to be open, but I mean, I thought it was necessary to talk to them.
And how did they respond when you did talk to them?
Well, the one who I'm like closer-ish to, she responded pretty well. I mean, she was understanding. And the other one was also understanding, but I don't think she's like had this much empathy. But even though they were like kind of understanding, it's not like things have really changed, so I don't really know.
And it must have been kind of really hard to see that like you were vulnerable with them and then nothing really changed after that.
Yeah. It's just kind of a bummer, you know, because I'm like, it's not like I have my family here, like they're supposed to be my family or whatever, and then I just come home and it's like, I don't want to come home really, because I know I'm just going to be left out.
And that's a horrible feeling because your home should be like a welcoming place for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So have you tried like talking to them like this semester or like maybe like bringing them into your life?
I talked to them like once so far. It's only February, but it's still happening. So yeah, I talked to them a little bit, and I feel like I invite them more places than they invite me. I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of miscommunication with us or something. Like maybe they are doing things, but I'm taking it a different way.
Yes, that would make a little bit of sense too, because you're not understanding that maybe they are trying to be nice, but they don't understand like how they're coming off towards you.
Maybe. But then how do we communicate that, like what we both want, you know, like if they're in their room talking and it's obvious that I've been home too and they're like in the room and their door's shut, it puts me in a hard place to like knock on their door and be like, hey, can I join you? Like what if they're having like a deep conversation and they don't want me to be a part of it, or I don't know, I don't really know like how to find that balance of not miscommunicating what they're doing, but then also putting myself out there, bringing them like into my life. Like it's not like I would knock on their door and be like, hey, come into my room and talk in my room, you know, like what if they are having a deep conversation and I can't, you know, I don't want to interrupt that.
And there may be times where they do just want to be the 2 of them, but I think as their friends and as their roommate, you also are welcome to knock on their door and just ask, and it is really scary and vulnerable for you to like put yourself out there, but it also would be really hard for you to just sit in your room and kind of with yourself and start thinking about those nasty things that aren't even true.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think you would have stuff to tell them right now about things they've done that have hurt you?
I mean, like a few things, but I feel like I've talked to them mostly about it except this semester. Because I talked to them about stuff last semester, but then don't you need to like pick and choose your fights in a way? So it's not like I talk to them about every single thing that ever has happened in our relationship. But I try to talk about like the bigger things, like when I do feel left out, not when like I feel like I'm buying all the things in our apartment or whatever, but more like hanging out and spending like time with each other. That's the things that I think I've talked to them the most about. But I don't know, I just feel a little hopeless about it. Maybe I just won't live with them next year because I don't really have other people to live with. So
I think there's definitely hope in this situation though, because you have talked to them.
yeah.
And so I think you could talk to them and bring that back up and be like, you know, hey, I talked to you guys about this before and I know we discussed it, but maybe explain to them how those little things add up in your brain and there's not these horrible things that they're doing, but that it still makes you feel left out. And if they don't respect that, maybe how would you feel about asking them, how you guys are on a friend level, not as a roommate level?
That's a good idea. How we are on a friend level, not a roommate level. That's a great idea. Maybe sorry, go on.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Because sometimes friends shouldn't be roommates, and those lines just get crossed, and it just gets really hard to live with your friends. And maybe it would be easier for you to start going back to like a friendship first, and not just roommates that happen to be your friends.
Yeah. That's a different perspective to think about. I just don't like I'm stuck in this, till like July. So I don't want to have to like deal with it all the time and be like depressed for these like 4-5 months of still living with them. So I don't know, what do you think about, like, do I keep confronting them every single time, or like, I'll go talk to them about like the different, if they're like how they perceive our relationship, like on the friendship level and not the roommate level. But what about, like, what if it continues happening? Like, I know it's not hopeless, but it just feels like that where I am right now. I don't know. And I don't want to like get our RA and like have her come and like do like a mediation between us. It's not like that big of a deal. It's not like they're like disgustingly living in our apartment. I think that's more why you get an RA, not for a friendship thing. But I just don't know, like, is it something about me? Like, do they not like me? Or like, am I like mean to them? Or do I smell bad?
Well, I don't think any of those could possibly be reasons. I think if anything, it might be like how you are perceiving it. And I think a good goal would be for you to see like how you can help yourself find family and community outside of your roommates.
Right.
Because if this doesn't improve and if they don't receive it well, then you're right, you still do need some kind of support and a family and people to back you up and make you feel loved. So maybe then it would kind of switch to how can we make you feel better?
How I can feel better?
Yes, outside of even the roommates.
Well, how can I feel better? Well, I do have another community outside of them, but a lot of them are graduating, so it's not like I could live with them, because I don't really know what they're doing. I don't know if they're staying here. And so I do have that. And they make me happy, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to like have roommates this year that I'd feel comfortable with. So, but it's just, so like I am happy in like my other aspects and areas of life, but it's just when I come home,
It's discouraging then.
yeah. Like I want to be comfortable at home, like, like have that family or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know what to do besides talking to them and like seeing what makes me happy, but I think
I think another good goal this week would maybe to talk to your other friends and see like how they are perceiving you as roommates and kind of see what they're seeing and ask them honestly like what they think about different things, and to maybe ask them too like if they know of people who are wanting to live with people next year.
Yeah, that's true.
And start investing in friendships that you could probably see as roommates for next year. Not just the graduating seniors, but people that are new and that you can involve yourself with and that you could be really tight with.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So just investing in those other friendships and trying to find maybe other roommates if I am not really happy with these roommates.
And don't give up hope on those roommates, because I think if you talk to them, they would be reasonable and they'd understand. And even if they don't, you still have a lot of friends that love you.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome. I hope you have a much better week.
Thanks. I hope so too.
I'll see you next week.
Yes, I'll be here on time.
Bye.
Bye.